play of the game. From the Padres Radio Network, here's Sam Levitt.
Back here live at Petco Park, welcoming to our Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show as the Padres beat the Houston Astros to even up this series at a game apiece by a final score of 3-2. The Padres getting just enough offense, 3 runs on 5 hits in the bullpen, ultimately getting the job done, shutting the door on this 1-run win. Jeremiah Estrada getting 2 outs in the 7th inning. Adrian Morajón getting 4 big outs between the 7th and the 8th. And Mason Miller, it got a little interesting in the 9th inning. Mason giving up a run to make it a 1-run game, but Mason ultimately shuts the door on his 29th save of 2026 as his incredible season continues. I caught up with Mason Miller on the field moments ago.
Mason, you hit the first batter of the inning, run comes in a little bit later, but you were able to secure this win. What was the key to ultimately getting it done?
Just bearing down, flushing it, getting back to it, just try to execute some pitches after a big miss and, not try to let it bother you too much.
You're a big guy. That play at first base, getting down there, didn't look easy.
Hey, we practiced those, so I'm ready to go.
You and Adrian Morajón have formed such a combination in the back end of this bullpen. With Adrian in particular, what's it been like for you to watch his success this season?
Special, man. I mean, I'm not able to do what I do without him. And picking up extra outs all the time, throwing a bunch, constantly being available, constantly being effective. It's a testament to how he prepares and how he gets ready for each game. We wouldn't be where we are without him.
Every game this time of year becomes a big game. How would you describe not only the way you guys are playing right now, but the way you guys are winning these games with regularity?
Yeah, just grinding through it. We played through a tough stretch, stayed with it, hung in there, and, we're seeing some things start to turn our way, and I think it's going to start to snowball even further our way.
You personally have had such an amazing year. Looking at the next month and a half, finish to the regular season, how do you finish it off?
Just keep doing what I've been doing. It's not a complicated recipe. Just prepare and get ready for each series that we have and try to put yourself in the best position to succeed.
Mason, congrats on the save. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
That was Mason Miller right after tonight's 3-2 win. The Padres evening up this 3-game series at a game apiece. Nothing fancy in this game for the Padres. They did get a home run from Jackson Merrill. The winning run ultimately scored in the 4th inning. The game-deciding run, third run the Padres scored in the 4th inning on what became, in the grand scheme of this game, a really big 2-out error committed by Astros shortstop Jeremy Pena. That allowed the Padres to take a 3-1 lead, and the Astros getting a run in the 9th inning to make it 3-2, but they would strand the tying run on base. And the Padres get a very nice win. They improved to 61 and 57. Astros dropped to 60 and 58. Padres already have got a little help on the out-of-town scoreboard. Blue Jays beat the Phillies in extra innings in Philadelphia, so that is good news. The Padres pick up a game on Philly. They're a game behind the Phillies now in the NL wildcard standings. D-backs and Dodgers are still scoreless late in the game in Arizona, and we'll talk more about that and everything you need to know about the out-of-town scoreboard and the standings coming up later on during our post-game coverage. As always, our post-game coverage brought to you by Jamul Casino Resort, a player with a top 100 spa, an epic rooftop pool, and Lux Hotel Suites. Jamul Casino Resort is the mini vacay you need, the Players Place. When we come back, we have all the radio highlights for you, full game recap. We'll head downstairs, hear from Craig Stammen a little bit later as well. Again, the final score here tonight, Padres 3 and the Astros 2. Our post-game coverage from Petco Park continues after this.
Nothing goes better with San Diego.
Sunday evening here at Petco Park. Final score here today, Padres 3 and the Astros 2, as the Padres even up this three-game series at a game apiece. That sets up a rubber match of this three-game set tomorrow evening here at Petco Park. Remember, Padres do play the Sunday night game tomorrow, nationally televised game, but we will have all your local radio coverage right here on 97.3 The Fan and the Padres radio network. And the good news is Padres will now have an opportunity to win the series against the Astros tomorrow. We'll head downstairs here from Craig Stammen in just a little bit, but first, let's recap this one from start to finish.
Which moments determine the outcome of today's game? We'll paint you a picture with our game highlights on the Padres Radio Network.
Our starting pitching matchup tonight, Michael King against Peter Lambert. Couple of right-handers going at it. King worked around a couple of base runners in the top of the first inning. In the bottom half, the Padres rallied against Lambert. Fernando Tatis Jr. drew a leadoff walk. Jake Cronenworth singled. Tatis went to third. The Padres would load the bases on a walk. That brought up Jackson Merrill.
Jackson swings in the air to right field. Smith charging straight in. Long run, won't get there. Dumps down a base hit. Throw to second is in time, and they force France. So it'll be a fielder's choice for Merrill. Tatis comes in to score, and it's 1-0.
Yeah, kind of unfortunate. Did score a run, ended up being a very long fielder's choice for Jackson Merrill, but the Padres did have a 1-0 lead at the end of the first inning. King then got the first two outs in the second. Astro left fielder Taylor Trammell dug in.
1-2 pitch, hit in the air, deep to right center field. Fernando going way back. He's going to watch, and this one going to go. Taylor Trammell. 7th of the year for the former Padre minor leaguer, and a 1-1 game here in the second inning.
So we had a 1-1 game. We were still tied at 1 going bottom 3. Lambert got the first two outs of the frame, but then it was Jackson Merrill.
Jackson swings, hits it in the air to deep center field straight away. Barstow's back at the wall, looking up, it's going to go! Jackson Merrill with his 17th home run of the season. Out to dead central at Petco Park. And the Padres go ahead, it's 2-1.
So back and forth we went. Padres led 2-1 going bottom 4. Gavin Sheets reached on an infield single. He found himself on third base with 2 men away. Fernando Tatis Jr. at the plate.
And Fernando hits it on the ground to shortstop. Pena kind of circles around it, boots it, and Sheets will come in to score. Oh boy. E6 all the way, and it's 3-1.
Yeah, ended up being a really, really critical error by Astros shortstop Jeremy Pena. Padres led 3-1 after 4 innings. Michael King would really settle in this one after allowing the early home run. He didn't allow a hit after giving up the home run to Trammell. King would go 6 innings. He allowed just 1 run on 3 hits. He struck out 6, and he left in line for the win. The Padres still led 3-1. Going to the 7th inning, Jeremiah Estrada came on. Astros put 2 on with 2 out, with the left-handed hitting Trammell coming up. Craig Stammen went to lefty Adrian Morejon. The Astros responded with the right-handed hitting Yainer Diaz. Morejon walked him to load the bases. The Astros sent up another pinch hitter for the number 9 batter, Christian Vasquez, in the right-handed hitting Jake Myers.
Pitch on the way. Myers swings and misses. Strike 3. It was the changeup. And Myers now 0 for 8 in the pinch this year as Morejon strikes him out to leave him loaded.
Another big strikeout by Adrian Morejon. Another situation where he comes in and he extinguishes the fire. Morejon came back out for the top of the 8th inning. He worked around an error in that 8th inning, a scoreless frame. Padres still led 3-1 going to the 9th inning, and it was time for Mason Miller. Miller got in some trouble. He hit Christian Walker with a pitch to begin the inning. A wild pitch by Miller sent Walker to second base. A ground out sent Walker to third. Cam Smith was then called out on strikes for out number 2. Yainer Diaz dug in, representing the tying run.
The 0-2 pitch. Diaz swings, lines it over Bogarts into left. That's a base hit. Walker will come home from third, and a 1-run game in the 9th inning. RBI single, Yainer Diaz.
A very, very rare sight in 2026. Mason Miller giving up a run. So all of a sudden, the Astros had the tying run on first base in Yainer Diaz. Lamont Wade Jr., the former Giant, pinch hit for Jake Myers. It was Miller against Wade.
Miller will deal. Wade swings. It's a ground ball towards third. Charged by Manny. He's got it. The throw to first is low. Scoop by France, and the ball game is over. Padres hang on for a 3-2 win to even this series. And Mason Miller, a new career high, 29 saves on the season.
Got to give it up to Michael King. It was his performance that led the way for the Padres. This wasn't an explosive offensive day for the Padres, but they get the job done. They tie this series 1-1 with the rubber match tomorrow.
Looking forward to it. Final score again, Padres 3, Astros 2.
Yeah, really nice job by Michael King, who settled in during the course of his outing in a big way. King picks up the win. He's 7-8. Lambert takes the loss. He's 8-6. Mason Miller is 29th save of the season. Like Jesse alluded to, a new career high. 3 runs on 5 hits, 1 error for San Diego. 2 runs, 5 hits, 1 error for Houston. The Padres improved to 61-57. Astros dropped to 60-58 in front of a crowd of nearly 42,000 here at Petco Park on what was a gorgeous late Saturday afternoon into early Saturday evening. When we come back, we'll hear from Padre manager Craig Stammen. That comes your way after this on the Padres Radio Network.
We'll be right back.
Our Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Sam Levitt with you inside the loft here at the Western Metal Building at Petco Park on this Saturday as we continue to wrap this one up. Padres win the middle game of this 3-game series by a final score of 3-2, setting up the rubber match of this series tomorrow here in downtown San Diego. Later game tomorrow, a 5:20 p.m. first pitch, so we'll be with you beginning at 4:20 from inside inside the Western Metal Building. We'll have the final game of the weekend across Major League Baseball. Again, nationally televised game tomorrow, but we'll have the local coverage for you right here on the Padres Radio Network. A lot to like from this game. Certainly nothing fancy or too showy from tonight's win. Kind of reminds you the win the Padres had on Thursday in a game they had to have in Arizona. Only 5 hits in this game for the Padres, but you know what? They figured it out. First inning, able to, essentially scratch across a run. The Merrill really became a long fielder's choice for Jackson. Jackson would have a much, more, not impressive run, but I don't know, a better looking run. The fielder's choice to the outfield is always a weird thing. Now, Jackson did get an RBI on it, did give the Padres a 1-0 lead. Taylor Trammell then tied the game with the home run in the second, so the lead was really short-lived. But then Jackson answered with the solo shot, his 17th of the season. Long home run to center in the bottom of the third. Padres then took advantage of what became a really critical error in this game by Jeremy Pena, the Astros shortstop. With a runner on third base and Gavin Sheets and 2 men away, he came in on, I think a fairly routine ground ball off the bat of Fernando Tatis Jr. No doubt that Pena had to not hurry, but he couldn't waste time because Fernando is running hard down the line. Fernando obviously has great speed, but it's a play that, Jeremy Pena has got to make, especially in that spot with a runner on third base and 2 outs, and he booted it. Ended up scoring a run, and that ended up being the game-deciding run when the Astros got the run in the 9th inning. Could have been a 1-run game in the 9th inning instead. But Padres found a way. Michael King, certainly big story in this game. The start of the outing, a little bit of deja vu. It was up and down. Gave up some hits in the first inning. Gave up the home run in the second. But after he gave up the home run in the second, he faced the minimum as far as batters faced. He did walk a guy in the 4th inning, but that was the only base runner he allowed in the rest of the outing. And right after that walk in the 4th inning, that base runner got erased on a double play ball. So he faced the minimum after the home run through 6 innings, got through it, left in line for the win, and then the bullpen got it done. Jeremiah Estrada got in trouble in the 7th inning. Adrian Morejon came in, ended up getting out of a big jam, bases loaded, 2 outs. What else is new for Adrian? Goes back out for the 8th inning and puts together a scoreless inning. And then Mason Miller in the 9th inning gets in trouble and hits the leadoff man, tying run at the plate. Astros ultimately end up scoring a run on the RBI single by Diaz, so it was a little bit shakier for Mason in the 9th inning than we're accustomed to seeing, but Mason, in Mason fashion, found a way to shut the door, picks up his career-high 29th save of the season. So just enough offense, good starting pitching in the bullpen, able to shut the door. Let's go downstairs here at Petco Park and hear some post-game reaction from Craig Stammen.
Let's pull up a seat in the manager's office and hear from Padres skipper Craig Stamen. Served up by Sinley Food. If you've had better chicken, you must be a rooster.
How good do you think your rotation looks when you get that version of Michael King sitting up top?
Yeah, exactly. That's, when, looking for games like that where he's kind of in control the whole game. He's got his good fastball command. He's got all of his pitches working. And he's able to go deep in the game, 6 innings. He probably could have won another inning. We decided to go to our pennies. We had him ready to go. But, if we get that from Michael King, we'll be in good shape here the rest of the way.
You scored 3 runs yesterday. You scored 3 today. This is the kind of game your pitching staff has built to win, would you say?
Yeah, 100%. I think we've done a good job the last 2 days of working the starting pitcher, getting him out relatively early in the game. We haven't been able to punch through with a big hit. And then their bullpen's kind of shut us down a little bit, but we've seen everybody. So, hopefully that sets us up well tomorrow. We've seen all their pen now. We'll try to get on another starter again and then go from there.
How much longer is your lineup with this version of Jackson Merrill and what he's been doing since?
Oh, yeah, exactly. I think when you look at, our 3-4-5 of Manny, Ty, and Jackson in the way they've been hitting since the All-Star break, it's a pretty good 3-4-5. And that's not to mention Tatis at the top and Crony hitting good. And then, Campy hitting right around 300 right now and Bogarts and Sheets and, we got a lengthened lineup right now that's, seeing the ball really well, taking good at-bats, taking good swings. The last 2 days I haven't scored as many runs, but the at-bat quality has been pretty good.
What do you think of Ty and Mason on that play?
Yeah, what a play there at the end. Kind of to get that first out of the ninth is a big out. Mason looked a little bit off today, didn't have his normal stuff. He's, only thrown 102, but it was just a little erratic from the beginning. And Ty made an amazing play. Crony's diving right behind him. He makes a throw. Mason picks it, dives on first base basically. We had 3 diving players trying to get that first out of the ninth inning. That's pretty awesome to see and let you know that this team's about trying to win games and they'll do anything to do it.
Craig, can you dig a little bit deeper on Jackson? What has been the difference? I know that's a simplistic question, but the guy first 81 games, the guy July and August, I mean, he's just playing looser or freer? What's
yeah, I think, they're working all year long on trying to find whatever that little thing is. Sometimes it's a cue word in the cage. Sometimes it's a mental thought, that could have been from anybody. But I know they've been working really hard and something clicked with him, right there in Kansas City. And since then, he's kind of been on fire, felt really free with his swing, and the ball's been jumping off his bat. So, it's one of those things. The length of the season is a really long time, and you're going to go through the ups and downs, and he handled kind of a tough first half, and he's bounced back to have a great second half. It just shows you how mentally tough he is and how tough of a person he is overall.
And even busting down the line there to stay out of that double play. I mean, that was a double play ball.
You're right. That's what makes Jackson such an elite player is he's got a lot of things that he can do to help the ball club. And even when he wasn't hitting early in the year, he played phenomenal defense, and he's, career high in steals. And now he's got the power to go with it, and he's in the middle of our lineup, creating a lot of havoc. So, definitely one of those players that you build a team around, and he's shown why.
And with Michael, anything in particular why he was so effective today?
Yeah, I think he got back a little bit to being a little simpler with his plan.
Okay.
Used his two-seamer probably a little bit more than what he has the last couple games. He'd been relying on his off-speed pitches, but I think he's gotten his command back, and that's the biggest thing. He knows where he's going with the fastball, and that helps set up all his off-speed pitches.
Gotcha. Make a decision for tomorrow?
Still TBA. We'll talk about it after this, and you'll know shortly, but I'd like to talk with everybody and get everybody's opinion and then make a good decision.
I understand. Thank you.
Yep, you guys got it.
Is August too soon to be checking scoreboards?
It's hard not to, honestly, but the one thing that we cannot do is determine the outcome of another game. The only outcome that we can determine is our own game, and we got to stay focused on that, and then we can watch MLB Network after that and figure out what to do after that.
What is your habit? Do you look up at the scoreboard ever during the game, or you wait till you check in when you get back to your office?
Probably a little bit of all that. I'm a baseball fan at heart, so you always want to know what's going on around the league.
That was Padres manager Craig Stamen right after this 3-2 win for the Padres against the Astros here tonight. Sam Levitt back with you inside the loft here at the Western Metal Building. Our postgame coverage is always brought to you by Jamul Casino Resort, the Players' Place. I do love how honest Craig is sometimes about stuff like that. He essentially admitting, he does look up at the scoreboard, and of course everybody pays attention. You hear guys and managers and coaches say, "Oh yeah, we can only control what we can control," and that is true. But make no mistake, everybody's paying attention to what's going on around the league. We will have a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard a little bit later. There is good news on that scoreboard. We told you about the Phillies losing earlier today in extras to the Blue Jays, and the D-backs are now down 1-0 to the LA Dodgers. I understand that's not the team that you want to see winning. However, with the standings the way they are right now, I do think it's wise to root for the Dodgers in this scenario. Even if you hate the Dodgers, which most of you do, all of you do probably listening to this right now, the Padres postgame. So, but is what it is for this series in Arizona. Dodgers did take the lead in the 8th inning on a Kyle Tucker home run to lead the D-backs 1-0, and we'll keep you posted on that game as it rolls along while we're on the air. I do want to talk about Jackson Merrill more because Jackson had a big day, drove in a run in the first inning, the home run in the third, and he is completely, as you heard there, turned his season around. So we'll dive a little bit deeper into the numbers for Jackson Merrill. We'll get into our daily awards. If you want to get a phone call in, 833-288-0973. Phone number to call, again, 833-288-0973 is always the phone number. Final score here today, Padres 3 and the Astros 2. Our postgame coverage continues after this.
Sid's Carpet Barn is San Diego.
Today's relief pitcher of the game, brought to you by San Diego criminal defense attorney David P. Shapiro. We help good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime. Learn more at davidpshapirolaw.com.
Relief pitcher of the game here tonight. You're not going to be surprised by this. It is none other than Mr. Adrian Morejon, who continues to just have an unbelievable year. You know, look, I know Mason Miller, by the numbers, is having an amazing year, obviously, and he's been tremendous, beyond tremendous. Having one of the best years you'll ever see a reliever have, no doubt. You know, Adrian is right there. I know the overall numbers, like you're going to look at his ERA at the end of the year, and it's going to be way off Mason's because Mason's is so crazy at 0.91 and Morejon's is 2.89. But you know, if you watch Adrian night in, night out, you know the value this guy brings. And he showed it on full display here today. I mean, Morejon comes in 2 on in a 2-run game in the 7th inning, does walk the first guy he faces in Diaz, but then strikes out Myers to end the inning, strand the bases loaded, as per usual, has no issue then going back out for the next inning, facing the very top of the Houston order with Pena, Alvarez, Paredes, and Altuve, and Cronenworth commits an error to put the tying run at the plate again, and Adrian gets out of it, no problem. So Adrian Morejon here tonight, inning and a third, scoreless. He continues to be just stellar, and for getting out of the jam and the scoreless 8th inning, and bridging things to Mason Miller, Adrian Morejon, our relief pitcher of the game here tonight. Let's tell you about the Padres' heart of the order.
Let's take the pulse of the Padres and check in on the heart of the order. Presented by Palomar Health Medical Group.
Part of the order here today, we take a look at Manny France and Merrill, the 3-4-5 hitters today. Manny Machado had a base hit in this game, 1 for 4. Ty France took an 0 for 2 with a couple of walks, so it did get on base a couple of times in this game. Jackson Merrill, 2 RBIs, had the long fielder's choice in the first inning. Did drive in a run, though, even though the forced play was made at second base from right field. And then the home run in the third, his 17th home run of the season. Impressive swing off Lambert to straightaway center field. So that's a look at the heart of the order, what they did tonight, Machado, France, and Merrill. To dive in on Jackson Merrill, who is totally turned his season around. And you heard Craig Stammen asked about it there. You heard Craig talk about it. You know, we could look at the last 2 weeks, essentially, and the numbers are awfully impressive for Jackson. I want to go back even farther just to give you an idea of how good he's been for, you know, well over a month now. If you look at his last 33 games, this is going back to July 2nd. So even before the All-Star break, when he was starting to show some signs of really coming out of it. And then after the All-Star break, he's really kicked it up to a different level. But Jackson, since July 2nd, 33 games, batting .315, 9 home runs, 27 RBIs. He's stolen 5 bases, and he's got a .905 OPS in that span. He has just been consistently really good going back to late June, early July, and especially since the All-Star break, he's been even better. And he's red hot right now in what he's doing day in, day out. So in the month of July alone, he's batting .344 with an OPS north of 1,000. And the other thing for Jackson that he has done so well this year is steal bases, right? I mean, picks up another stolen base today. That's 23 on the season. That was something he talked about going back to spring training. If you went and talked to him during spring training, you said to him, what's one thing you want to do this year? You want to work on this year, to be better at this year? He would have said stealing bases. In fact, he did say that. So to see him go out there and now put together a season that is likely going to end up with 30 stolen bases or more, it's pretty impressive. And his overall numbers are starting to really improve because he's played so much better. I mean, he's played 115 games. He's batting .242, which, you know, he'd want it to be higher. But remember, his average, I mean, looking at it here, his average was as low in early June. His average was as low as 198. So he has raised that average nearly 50 points since late June. Now, really early June. But in 2 months, he's raised it 50 points. He raises that thing to above 250. He's got 17 home runs now. Let's say he finishes the year somewhere between, 20, 25 home runs, certainly realistic. And he's got 58 RBIs right now. Let's say he finishes the year somewhere between 75, 85, something like that. I mean, you're going to be looking at a 250, 20-something home runs, hopefully somewhere around 70-something, 80-something RBIs. Considering the way his year started, it's going to end up being a really nice year, especially when you consider what the first 2 months looked like. So there's no doubt about it. Jackson being this productive is so big for this lineup. It lengthens the lineup, and it has been great to see Jackson, I think right now play as well as we've seen, going back to his rookie year. I mean, there was that there were stretches last year in what was such a start and stop year for Jackson where he was hot, but he's playing really on a different level right now. This has been a lot of fun to watch. And, you heard me talk to Jackson before today's game. I think it's very easy to forget that this kid is, like I said, but he still is. He's 23 years old. He does not have that much time in the big leagues. And, he set the expectation so high for himself because of the way he played his rookie year. And, last year was so weird. And then he gets off to a really rough start. And, he's still somebody who's 23. And this has been really, really fun to see and good to see and important to see for the Padres. Jackson play the way he's playing. All right, let's hit the phones here real quick. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Phone number to call. By the way, Padres did just announce that Randy Vasquez will start tomorrow's game. You heard Craig not give an answer there in the postgame. Will be Randy tomorrow. Let's go to the phones here. Let's go to National City. It's Mario calling in. Mario, you're on the Padres Radio Network on this early Saturday night. Go ahead. Welcome in.
Hey, Big Sam. Good evening, man. How you doing?
Doing well.
I like, at the beginning of the season, I watch every game. At the end of the season, I'm watching every game, looking forward. But what I'm really looking forward to is the bounce back from Ray and the Mize. We really need that, along with the bats, get the bats going, Merrill. But I really like the way we're going right now. Like I said, a scoreboard watch from the beginning of the season, scoreboard watch all the way to the end. Go Padres.
All right, Mario, appreciate the phone call. Look, you make, I think, a good point and a fair point. Yeah, they're going to need Mize and Ray to be better than they were their first outings as Padres, no doubt, especially Mize. Now, Ray yesterday, even though the Padres lost the game, clearly from the outset did not have his best command. Battled his way through, kind of gutted through 5 innings, which is, quite frankly, what you expect a veteran starter of his caliber to be able to do. But they're going to need better. They are. They're going to need those guys to be sharper, and hopefully they will be moving forward. Let's step aside. When we come back, full look at the out-of-town scoreboard. We'll update you on the NL wildcard standings. We'll replay my post-game conversation with Mason Miller from earlier, and we'll get you ready for the rubber game of this series coming up tomorrow evening here in downtown San Diego. Final score again here tonight, Padres 3 and the Astros 2 on the Padres Radio Network.
Keep it locked to Presented by Jensen Premium Beef Patties. Always a hit for grilling.
Well, we take a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard on this late Saturday. Things look like this. We've got a couple of games still going on right now. Dodgers and the Diamondbacks in Arizona. Dodgers have taken a 1-0 lead in the 8th inning. Kyle Tucker hit a go-ahead home run in the 8th inning. So, Dodgers beating the D-backs 1-0 again in the 8th. And look, even though it's the Dodgers winning, that is good news from a Padres standpoint. Mariners beating the Rays 1-0 in Seattle in the 3rd. The lone run of that game so far, Josh Naylor hitting his 9th home run of the season. The other games today, everything has gone final. Yankees beat the Braves 5-4 in New York. Ben Rice hitting a home run in that game. George Lombard Jr. hitting his second of his early major league career. Rice is 32nd of the season. Garrett Cole struck out 9 in 7 innings for the Yankees in that one. A's beat the Red Sox 7-3 to snap their 9-game win streak. Gage Jump struck out 11 in 6 innings for the win. Tyler Soderstrom and Henry Bolte hitting home runs in that one for the A's. Marlins beat the Angels 7-0 in Miami today. Sandy Alcantara, 7 shutout innings with 8 strikeouts, picking up the win. Blue Jays beat the Phillies 7-5 in Philadelphia in 11. Nathan Lucas hit a go-ahead 2-run home run in the 11th inning in that one. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. also homering. Trey Turner, Bryce Harper homering for Philly. Pirates blanked the Mets 9-0 in Pittsburgh. Bubba Chandler, 6 scoreless innings and the win in that one. Nationals beat the Reds 8-2 in D.C. The Royals beat the Cubs 6-3 in Kansas City. Jack Caglione hitting his 19th and 20th home runs of the season in that one. Brewers beat the Twins 4-3 in Milwaukee. Andrew Vaughn hit a go-ahead RBI single in the 8th inning, propelling Milwaukee to a win. Tigers beat the Giants 8-0 in San Francisco. Jackson Jobe threw 5 scoreless innings on 1 hit in that one. Rockies beat the Cardinals 8-6 in St. Louis. Jake McCarthy 2 home runs in that game for Colorado. Rangers beat the Orioles 5-1 in Texas. For the Rangers, Corey Seager hit a 3-run home run. White Sox beat the Guardians 6-3 in Chicago. Munetaka Murakami, his 26th home run of the season in that White Sox win. And that is a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard on this Saturday. Well, taking a look at the up-to-the-minute National League wildcard standings, the way things look right now, D-backs at the moment have a half-game lead on the Phillies for the second wildcard spot. However, if the score holds in Arizona right now, Dodgers leading 1-0. Arizona and Philadelphia would have the same record at 62 and 56. So they would be in a tie for the second and third wild card spots in the National League. The good news is if that score holds, it will be a very good day for the Padres because they will have picked up a game on both Arizona and Philadelphia, so the Padres would be 1 game behind both Philly and Arizona. If that score holds, Padres will be 1 game out behind Philly regardless of that score in Arizona. Miami 3 out, St. Louis 3.5 out, Pittsburgh 4.5 out, Washington 4.5 out, Cincinnati 5 out, and that is a look at where the wild card standings sit on this Saturday. Again, Dodgers beating the Diamondbacks 1-0 in the 8th inning in Arizona. So if that score holds, Padres will gain a full game on the D-backs. Final score here today, Padres 3, Astros 2. Let's hear tonight's play of the game.
1 bounce, 1 hit, 1 pitch can be the difference between victory and defeat. What was the most important play in today's game? This is today's Play of the Game. Presented by Bill Howe Plumbing, Heating and Air, Restoration and Flood. We know how.
Jackson swings, hits it in the air to deep center field straight away. Marshall's back at the wall. Look it up. It's going to go. Jackson Merrill with his 17th home run of the season. Out to dead central at Petco Park. And the Padres go ahead. It's 2-1.
Jackson Merrill, home run to straightaway center, gave the Padres a 2-1 lead. They go on to take a 3-1 lead when they scored another run on the error by Jeremy Pena in the fourth inning. Astros did get a run against Mason Miller in the ninth inning to make it 3-2, but Mason ultimately shutting the door for his career-high 29th save of the season. Right after today's win, as the Padres evened up this series at a game apiece, I caught up with Mason Miller on the field.
Mason, you hit the first batter of the inning, run comes in a little bit later, but you were able to secure this win. What was the key to ultimately getting it done?
Just bearing down, flushing it, getting back to it, just try to execute some pitches after a big miss and, not try to let it bother you too much.
You're a big guy. That play at first base, getting down there, didn't look easy.
Hey, we practiced those, so I'm ready to go.
You and Adrian Morahone have formed such a combination in the back end of this bullpen. With Adrian in particular, what's it been like for you to watch his success this season?
Special, man. I mean, I'm not able to do what I do without him, and picking up extra outs all the time, throwing a bunch, constantly being available, constantly being effective. It's a testament to how he prepares and how he gets ready for each game. We wouldn't be where we are without him.
Every game this time of year becomes a big game. How would you describe not only the way you guys are playing right now, but the way you guys are winning these games with regularity?
Yeah, just grinding through it. We played through a tough stretch, stayed with it, hung in there, and we're seeing some things start to turn our way, and I think it's going to start to snowball even further our way.
You personally have had such an amazing year. Looking at the next month and a half, finish to the regular season, how do you finish it off?
Just keep doing what I've been doing. It's not a complicated recipe. Just prepare and get ready for each series that we have and try to put yourself in the best position to succeed.
Mason, congrats on the save. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
That was Mason Miller right after tonight's 3-2 win. So rare to see Mason even allow many base runners give up a run. He did give up a run, an earned run in this game. His ERA ballooned all the way to 0.91 on the season. So unfortunate he gave up a run, but hey, name of the game for Mason, and I think he'd say this too, is just securing the win, securing the save, and Mason Miller did that here today. It sets up the rubber game of this 3-game series tomorrow here at Petco Park. Keep in mind, tomorrow's game quite a bit later than usual on a Sunday here at home. First pitch tomorrow at 5:20 p.m. Our pregame coverage will begin at 4:20. Pitching matchup tomorrow, right-hander Christian Javier on the mound for Houston, and the Padres will send right-hander Randy Vasquez to the hill. Again, first pitch tomorrow, 5:20, and your only local coverage of the ball game begins here at 4:20. On the Padres Radio Network with our EcoWater SoCal Padres pregame show. A look at the final totals here tonight. You know what? Before we do that, I always need to remind you, you can always go back and listen to any portion of our postgame coverage on the Inside San Diego Baseball podcast, available on the free Odyssey app or wherever you find your podcasts. You can also go back on the 97.3 The Fan YouTube channel and watch any portion of our postgame coverage there as well. And as always, our postgame coverage brought to you by Jamul Casino Resort. Hey player, the rooftop pool's open, day passes are available, and the spa is calling your name. Jamul Casino Resort, the player's place. A look at the final totals here tonight. For the Padres, 3 runs, 5 hits, 1 error, they left on 6. For the Astros, 2 runs, 5 hits, 1 error, they left on 7. Winning pitcher here today, Michael King, really nice outing, 6 strong innings, improves to 7-8. Losing pitcher Peter Lambert, who drops to 8-6, and the save goes to Mason Miller, his 29th of the season, a new career high for Mason Miller, who is going to shatter his old career high, which was 28 saves back in 2024. So already here on August 8th, Mason a career high 29 saves. Time of game tonight, 2 hours, 38 minutes, in the crowd at Petco Park on this Saturday, the 47th sellout already here in 2026 in downtown San Diego, 41,937 in the building. Once again, first pitch tomorrow, 5:20 p.m. Pre-game coverage begins at 4:20. Until then, for our great studio coordinator, Jeff Hamby, I'm Sam Levitt saying so long and good night from Petco Park. And the final score here today, the San Diego Padres 3 and the Houston Astros 2. We'll talk to you tomorrow right here on the Padres Radio Network. Have a fantastic rest of your Saturday night.